In the boundless domain of philosophical inquiry and the intricate tapestry of Greek mythology, the tale of Sisyphus stands as a timeless allegory, a narrative that interweaves themes of fate, defiance, and existential contemplation. It is a story that has transcended its mythological origins, resonating deeply across generations and offering profound insights into the human condition. Sisyphus, the inaugural sovereign of Ephyra, an ancient city now known as Corinth, it shed his name into the annals of history. His reign was marked by prosperity and progress, yet it was also shadowed by acts of tyranny and ruthless ambition. The gods who presided over the cosmos as arbiters of justice and order could not overlook his transgressions. Sisyphus, a cunning strategist and master tactician, dared to engage in a perilous game of wits with the divine, a contest that would ultimately define his fate. The initial spark of conflict ignited when Zeus, the king of the gods, abducted the nymph Aegina while disguised as an eagle. This audacious act sent shockwaves through the divine realms, stirring the wrath of Aegina's father, the river god Sisyphus. His pursuit led him to Ephyra, where he confronted Sisyphus within the fortified walls of his castle. Ever the shrewd negotiator, Sisyphus struck a deal with Sisyphus. He would reveal Aegina's whereabouts in exchange for diverting the river through his city, thereby bringing prosperity to his people. But this act of betrayal did not go unnoticed by Zeus, who, in his fury, summoned Thanatos, the god of death, to drag Sisyphus to the underworld. However, Sisyphus, ever resourceful and unyielding, devised a plan to outmaneuver death itself. When Thanatos arrived to chain him, Sisyphus feigned curiosity and requested a demonstration of how the chains worked. Seizing the moment, he overpowered Thanatos, binding the god of death in his own chains. With death imprisoned, the natural order was thrown into disarray, mortality ceased, and the living were no longer subject to the inevitability of death. It was only through the intervention of Ares, the god of war, that Thanatos was freed and the balance of life and death restored. Yet the gods, who had been outwitted by the mortal king, were not to be outdone. Sisyphus was eventually recaptured and dragged back to the realm of Hades, where he was condemned to an eternal punishment that would become the very definition of futility. His sentence, to roll an immense boulder up a steep hill, only for it to slip from his grasp and tumble back down each time he neared the summit. An endless cycle of effort without reward, a task devoid of any hope for completion. This was Sisyphus's fate, a cruel reflection of the human struggle against the inevitable. This myth, a parable etched in the collective consciousness of humanity, endures not merely as a tale of divine retribution, but as a mirror to our own lives. Why has this story, among the countless others of Greek mythology, persisted through the sands of time? It resonates with us because it reflects the very nature of our existence, the repetitive tasks, the elusive goals, and the seemingly endless struggles we face in our daily lives. Sisyphus, condemned to an eternal cycle of futile labor, embodies the rhythm of our pursuits, where the summit remains ever elusive and our efforts often appear in vain. Yet this tale offers more than just a reflection of life's hardships. It poses a deeper question. Why, in the face of perpetual struggle, would Sisyphus find solace and perhaps even a form of happiness in his predicament? To unravel this paradox, we must turn to the insights of Albert Camus, the French philosopher whose existential reflections breathe new life into the ancient myth of Sisyphus. Camus, born into the harsh realities of poverty in Algeria, was no stranger to life's challenges. From the early loss of his father in World War I to his own battle with tuberculosis, Camus became intimately familiar with the fragility and absurdity of human existence. His experiences during the turmoil of World War II and his reflections on the inherent randomness of life shaped his philosophical outlook, leading him to confront the most profound questions of meaning and purpose. In his seminal essay, The Myth of Sisyphus, Camus introduces the concept of the absurd, the inherent conflict between our deep-seated desire for meaning and the universe's indifferent, often chaotic nature. Sisyphus, condemned to a perpetual task devoid of ultimate purpose, becomes a powerful symbol of the absurd. Yet rather than surrendering to despair or nihilism, Camus offers a path of resistance, the rebellion against the absurd by embracing life fully, creating our own meaning, and living authentically in the present moment. In this light, Sisyphus, despite his eternal punishment, becomes a tragic hero, one who confronts the absurd with unwavering resolve. Camus challenges us to see beyond the apparent futility of Sisyphus's labor, to recognize the potential for happiness, even in the most hopeless of situations. Sisyphus, in his eternal repetition, finds contentment not in the hope of reaching the summit, but in the act of pushing the boulder itself. This shift in perspective transforms his suffering into a conscious choice, an affirmation of his own existence and agency. In our own lives, we often mirror the Sisyphean struggle, chasing after elusive goals, wealth, success, happiness, only to find that each achievement is but a fleeting moment before the next challenge arises. Camus warns against the dangers of projecting our fulfillment into an uncertain future, urging us instead to find meaning in the present, to live fully and authentically in each moment. Camus presents us with a choice: to deny the unreasonable world by constructing artificial goals, or to embrace the freedom that comes with acknowledging the absurd. The latter, he argues, offers true empowerment, for it liberates us from the false promise of ultimate understanding or everlasting happiness, and places the focus squarely on the journey itself. Sisyphus, condemned to his eternal task, thus mirrors our own perpetual pursuits. Whether we seek wealth, power, or happiness, the question inevitably arises: when is it enough? Sisyphus teaches us that the journey itself holds profound significance. In a world where arbitrary metrics often define what is good or successful, Camus encourages us to live authentically, to revel in the experience of the present rather than chasing after elusive standards imposed by society. Sisyphus, in his eternal ascent, also embodies the Stoic principle of embracing challenges with resilience and finding contentment in the act of overcoming them. The Stoics, like Camus, recognize that much of life is beyond our control. They taught that true wisdom lies in focusing on our own attitudes and responses, cultivating inner strength and virtue, rather than being consumed by external circumstances or the pursuit of material success. In the face of an unpredictable world, Camus and the Stoics converge, guiding us to find joy in the journey itself, to recognize that the pursuit of meaning is a continuous endeavor. Sisyphus, in his ceaseless labor, becomes a symbol of human resilience, the capacity to find contentment, even joy, not in the completion of our tasks, but in the steadfast commitment to them, in the very act of persistence. As we navigate our individual hills, pushing our metaphorical boulders, let us draw strength from Sisyphus's Stoic acceptance and Camus's call to revolt against the absurd. In this shared pursuit of meaning, we find empowerment through resilience, through the strength to endure, and through the wisdom to find joy in the act of living. The Stoic community, united by this common understanding, finds solace and purpose in the journey itself, recognizing that life's challenges are not obstacles, but opportunities for growth and self-discovery. So, in the spirit of Sisyphus, let us imagine ourselves happy, even in the midst of our struggles. Let us embrace the journey with open hearts, find satisfaction in the task at hand, and revel in the freedom of living authentically, in the here and now. In doing so, we discover that true empowerment lies not in the conquest of peaks, but in the enduring strength to roll our boulders with unwavering resolve, finding meaning and purpose in the very act of persistence. It is in this relentless pursuit, this conscious acceptance of life's challenges, that we find the essence of what it means to live, fully, authentically, and with a sense of profound freedom.